Hello, what we're going to look at today is solving a multivariable linear systems of equations with row echelon form. That sounds like a mouthful, which it is, but it's actually a pretty easy process. So let's look at a system of equations here. So let's say we have x minus y, actually a minus 2y plus 3z equals 9. That's equation 1. And we have y plus 4z equals 7, and z equals 2. That's equation 2. And the last one is equation 3. So we have a stair-stepping pattern. That's one observation that we see. And also, this leading coefficient on this variable, the leading variable, is 1. If we have a stair-stepping pattern and the leading coefficient of the variable is 1, we can do row echelon elimination. So this is known as row echelon form. Okay, so we have stair-stepping pattern. And leading coefficient is 1. Leading. All right. So once we see this, we can recognize this. Now this is a multivariable system because we have 3 different variables here, x, y, and z. Okay, so let's solve this system here. So it's x minus 2y plus 3z equals 9. And then the second equation was y plus 4z equals 7, and we had z is equal to 3. So one of the reasons why this is kind of a little easier to solve is because we already know what z is going to be. Z is going to be given to us all the time. Okay. Notice I have a stack of my variables. So I have an x category, I have my y category, and I have my z category. If it's not given to you in this form, make sure you put it in this form, because there could be a situation where they try to trick you. So just always put it x, y, z. All right. So all we have to do is plug equation 3 into equation 2 to begin with. So let's do that. So we need to put equation 3 into equation 2. So here's equation 2. And we want to plug in that z spot what z equals, which is 2. Okay, now we just got to simplify this up. So we'll get y plus 8, because 4 times 2 is 8, equals 7. On the next slide, we'll solve that. Y plus 8 equals 7. And when we subtract 8 from both sides of the equation to get y by itself, get y equals negative 1. So we have 2 variables now. We have our initial variable, z equals 2. We have our y variable, which is negative 1. And so now we just need to plug in y and z into equation 1. All right, and that's not too bad. So remember, equation 1 from the beginning was this one up here. Just use that one, a little less stuff written on there. It's x minus 2y plus 3z equals 9. So x minus 2y plus 3z equals 9. And all we have to do is plug in the variables that we just have. And so y was -1 and z was 2. So we have to simplify this up a little bit. So that's going to be plus, because -2 times -1 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6, and that equals 9. So we've got to combine our like terms. 2 plus 6 is 8, equals 9. Subtract 8 from both sides. We get x equals 1. So now we have all three variables. We have x equals 1, y equaled -1, and z equaled 2. So we want to put our answer in a form of an ordered pair. In this case, actually this would be an ordered triplet. Ordered triplet, because there's 3 terms. So I still put them in my same spots. I have an x spot, I have a y spot, and I have a z spot. So x is 1, y is -1, and z equaled 2. That's our answer. Let's look at another one. So let's try this one. 2x minus y plus 5z equals 22. I have y plus 3z equals 6, and z equals 3. So what I want you to do here is pause the video and see if you can get the solution here. All right, so what we can do here is substitute back our variables in. So let's plug in equation 3 into equation 2. So I'm going to write equation 2 now. Okay, and what we're going to do is plug in z into equation 2, and z was 3. All right, so on the next slide, what I'm going to do is simplify that up a little bit. So we're going to get y plus 9 equals 6. Okay, so all we have to do is subtract 9 from both sides, and I get y equals -3. All right, so now we need to plug z and y to equation 1. All right, so let's do that on the next slide. So equation 1 was 2x minus y plus 5z equals 22. So we're going to use our variables as parentheses and plug in our values. Okay, so we know y was -3, and z we solved was as 3, +3. We get 2x plus 3, because this negative and negative turns to positive, plus 8 equals 22. So what we can do here is, actually that's not going to be 8, that's going to be 15, because we're not adding, we're multiplying there. So let me erase that. Gonna slow down a little bit. So that's going to be multiplication, that's going to be 15. All right, so hopefully you have the same solution so far. All right, so I got a minus 18 from both sides. And we get 2x equals 4. And on the next slide, let's just write that equation again so we have some more room here. 2x equals 4. Divide both sides by 2. We get x equals 2. So now we have all of our variables. We had x equals 2, y was -3, and initially z was given to us as 3. So that's our ordered triplet. Hope you got that answer. So on Wednesday, what we're going to be doing is having a lesson, a virtual lesson, as a meeting in Zoom. So come with any questions that you have, and we'll review for our quiz, which is on Friday. All right, we'll see you on Wednesday.